Ladies and gentlemen, joining me today is Christina Charis Stelliou. I just learned how to say that. How are you, Christina?
Hello. I'm good. I'm good. Thank you for having me. How are you?
I'm great. I think everybody should learn how to say your name now before they inevitably have to learn how to say your name anyway. I'm so excited to get to speak to you, Christina. You have been undefeated in MMA for 2 years, almost. If I'm getting that right, yeah, unbeaten in 2 years, a five-fight win streak. When I first heard that I was gonna get to speak to you, I was really, excited because I'm doing a podcast here all the way in beautiful Pakistan, and I'm speaking to you all the way in beautiful Greece. This is a bit of a awesome connection, isn't it?
Yes, yes, it is. It is. I'm really excited about this.
Yeah, and so talk to me about how the last 2 years have been for you. I think there was a loss where I'm sure you learned a lot and made a lot of adjustments. Since then, you've been on a bit of a rampage, if I say so myself. How's it been?
Okay, so the first time I fought MMA, it was like back to 2015. It was my first time. I just did it to see how it will be. I wasn't even training MMA at the time. I didn't know anything about jiu-jitsu or grappling. But I lost, obviously. I lost the fight. But I really liked it. And I liked the fact that, you know, it is a huge aspect and you can learn so many things. And in 2017, I started training MMA and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I got, a big loss against Melanie Kuches in Bulgaria.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then I got a big knockout again in Bulgaria. That was okay. Obviously, the knockout was the worst scenario.
Yeah,
I really had a difficult weight cut,
yeah.
and I think that that helped a bit in getting
Yeah.
knocked out.
Yeah, no, I mean, this was the early, because I noticed your record is really interesting. You can see that there was, when you're starting off, there's a little bit of a, bumpy ride, like you're saying, because you were just learning the stuff. But then after that, I feel as if something clicked and you kind of put the pieces of the puzzle together and you haven't really looked weak since then. Even that one loss in between somewhere, wasn't like you said, wasn't like the worst loss that you could have possibly had. What was it like? Were you able to just, I mean, like, from what I can gather, you weren't training MMA and then now you were. Was that the difference? Was that like the basic difference?
Yes, of course, that was the basic difference. I also started having camps. I was having camps in Serbia in Čardušančilni gym, and that's when I really got into MMA and what it means to be an MMA fighter and how is it training, because the level there is like,
Yeah.
it is a big difference, like
Uh-huh.
in Greece and in Serbia.
Yeah.
So that was the big step and the most helpful thing for my career in MMA.
Right.
Um, then we also wanted to fix, or let's say improve my record. So I had one or two fights that we knew that wasn't risky. They weren't risky fights.
Yeah.
Of course, you can always lose. You
No.
never know.
Yeah.
But we said, okay, chances are more to win those fights.
Right.
So that also helped me a lot.
Yeah, and I feel like, yeah, that's like, a lot of fighters might be a little shy of this kind of stuff. But if you're just starting out in the sport, like, this is a big problem here in Pakistan. I don't know if this is a big problem in Greece, but a big problem in Pakistan, at least I've noticed for the younger guys, is sometimes they get put in matchups where they have no idea who the hell they're facing. They might be facing a guy who has like 15, 16, 17, 18 pro fights. What the fuck? This is my fourth fight. Why am I facing a guy who is 20 and 0 and has like a face tattoo? You know what I mean? Like, why is this happening to me? So I mean, it's kind of important for you to take it as steady way to the top, right? It has to be kind of a progressive, and I feel like that's a very smart thing for you to do. You're still very young into your career. You're still, like you said, you just started training, what, 3 years ago?
Yes, but the problem was that I was training Sanda, the Chinese kickboxing, and kickboxing before, and I had many fights. So they were like, she's a professional already. So if she's fighting MMA, she has to fight someone with a good record. But I didn't know MMA at the time.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, no, I mean, Sanda, Wushu Sanda here in Pakistan is also very one of the more popular martial arts. We have wrestling, which is more traditionally based here. Like, it's called Pelvani. It's more, we do it on the dirt instead of the mats. But of course, we have mat-based wrestling as well. But then there's Wushu Sanda right after that, which I'm surprised to see that's a big thing. Is that a big thing in Greece as well?
Not a great thing, but it's pretty big, yes, I would say. Many people are training Sanda, and we have many good athletes going on European and World Championships.
Yeah, and the European circuit's really tough as well. Like I've seen a lot of guys who come up from the European circuit, and everything I feel as if one of the things I've learned doing this podcasting stuff, I've learned that MMA always takes time. Like it's always gonna take a little bit for something to kind of pick up. I was talking to the guy who started MMA in Pakistan. Imagine I got to speak to the guy who started MMA in Pakistan, right? And that was like more 10 years ago or less. And I asked him, I was like, what's it going to take for us to get to the next level? He said, time. That's it. It's not like some kind of a magic wand or some shit like that. It's suddenly going to, like erect like a performance center here. It's just time. It takes time. What do you think, though, for the European circuit, more specifically for the Greek circuit, what do you think is going to take for it to get to the next level?
I have to say that the MMA scene now in Greece, it's really improved, and we have many young fighters also that are going abroad. And I think like in the next maybe 2-3 years, people are going to be familiar with Greek fighters. They already know something. We have a fighter, Elena Kalyonidou. She's already in Bellator.
Yep. Yeah, there's a bunch of guys, two guys as well in Bellator, but yes, 3 of the Greek fighters, yeah.
Yeah, so it is a good thing. We're improving, and I really think it is great.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I think organizations like Bellator and the UFC, they're always looking for, I feel like, especially the I mean, any promotion you look at, it wants the biggest stars from countries, so that their fellow countrymen and women tune in and watch those fights. Do you feel as if the UFC, I mean, I don't think it's had its first big Greek star. Am I speaking to her right now?
We had the first fighter from Greece that went to UFC. I really like ONE Championship.
Really? I like this. I like this. Thank you. Because I was expecting this to be one of the UFC interviews where I say, hey, you're going to the UFC. Am I going to speak to you soon? But fuck yeah, the ONE Championship. Yeah, that's, you know why? Because I've been arguing this with a lot of people on this show. I've been telling them that there's a bipolarity in the world of MMA. And I will look into the camera and say this again. There's a bipolarity in the world of MMA. There's the East and then there's the West. There's always been the East and the West. You know what I mean? There's always been two simultaneous rising. There was always, what was it? Fuck, how can I forget? The Japanese,
which one?
The biggest one. The one where Fedor fought. Holy shit. What am I? Pride never dies. Right.
The Pride.
Yeah, there was always Pride, and then there's always UFC simultaneously, and there was always Ryzen, and there was always Bellator simultaneously. What attracts you about the ONE Championship or going there?
I think it is a bit different. I think UFC is now mainstream, I would say. Sorry if it is a big word.
No.
And I like the fact that, yes, you see other fighters. Everybody knows fighters from UFC, but ONE FC has really good fighters.
Yeah.
I was watching some ladies fights with Angela Lee versus the Chinese girl. Sorry, I don't. Shong Li Zhang or something like this.
Yeah, okay.
And I was like, this fight was awesome.
Right,
this fight was everything. Yeah, so I really like their fighters. I really like the style, and I believe that the style of fighting is a bit different.
It is. Yeah.
You see different fighters.
Well, how do you think it's different though? To you, what stood out?
Comparing the two last fights I saw, like women in UFC and women in ONE FC. Um, I saw in ONE FC like more action.
Yeah.
Uh, you know, maybe they were brawling a bit more.
Yeah, there we go.
And yes, it was pretty impressive. Like I saw everything. I didn't saw in one fight only strike fighting. I saw wrestling. I saw
Yeah.
striking. I saw fence work.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I
And
think
and,
that
and,
that
and
is
no bullshit. Like, like a lot of like I saw like I was really excited for Holly Holm Raquel Pennington that happened recently, right? In UFC. I don't remember which card exactly it happened. A little bit back, not too far back, but Holly Holm Raquel Pennington, right? I mean, I was so excited. And then what does Raquel do? Or what does Holly do, pardon me? Just holds her up against a cage for 3 rounds. And I mean, that was one of those fights where at least 6 times I got, and I'm the kind of guy who sits there and goes, with all my casual friends, I'm like, no guys, shut the fuck up. This is a good fight. Like this is
yes,
all
yes,
right?
exactly.
Right? But even in that fight, even I was like, hey, ref, come on. It's
Please.
been 8 minutes, yeah. And you don't see that shit in ONE Championship.
Yes, exactly. I mean, Khabib, he's a great fighter. Definitely, he's a great wrestler. And as we see, no one can defend the one thing he's doing. And because he's doing it great.
Yeah.
You know that you're gonna watch a high level fight, but you know what you're gonna watch.
Yeah.
That is
very true. That's very true. And ONE Championship has the Super Series, which is their kickboxing, right? Which is are you interested in kind of wanting to go between the two?
I mean, you mean kickboxing or
And MMA, yeah.
I'm done with kickboxing. I only want to fight MMA.
Oh,
but I'm
nice.
excited to watch good fights.
This is really exciting stuff. I didn't know this was going to happen when the interview started, but we have a pitch and a proposal for you to be in ONE Championship. And you know what? That makes a lot of sense to me because, and I want to go back to your Greek roots for just 1 second, right? Greece is, at least for me, sitting all the way here as a guy who's in Pakistan and a political science major, I've studied of the great Greek philosophers, right? And oftentimes those philosophers talk about, like Socrates once said, that an average or an ordinary wrestler is far better than your best runner. You know what I mean? So wrestling is something which has been in Greek history for a very long time. Is it still like I mean, of course, it's not like people in togas walking around with like whatever and saying like, philosophical shit, I'm sure. But like, is there still an emphasis from the Greek people towards something like wrestling?
In general, we are not that educated in sport, I would say, in sports in general.
Right.
But yes, there are those sports like wrestling and boxing, obviously, that and artistic gymnastics.
Yeah.
That are rising again.
Yeah. Again. Yeah.
And again, yes, because we had a time that we were like totally flat.
Yeah. No, I feel like we both, like Greece and Pakistan, both have had like our traditional roots, and even it's the same thing with us. I was reading the other day about this thing called like Pelvani, which is traditional Indian wrestling, right? Pelvani used to be such a rampant thing in the subcontinent where we're from. You would see literally entire villages just have wrestling pits everywhere, just so people are always training and they would be healthy. There'd be no problems with their diseases. There'd be no nothing. There'd be everything, everybody happy, and everybody would be a goddamn wrestler, And now, since then till now, we've had government after government coming and blatantly ripping us off in front of our faces. I think that's a similar story to Greece as well, if what I've read is correct. So yeah, I mean, I feel as if sports kind of been taken away from us. But there's a revival here in Pakistan. Do you feel like there's a revival for sport in Greece?
Yeah, I believe so. And I'm glad that's happening.
Right? What are the indicators? What do you think is some of the stuff which really needs to happen in order for Greece to get back up on its feet when it comes to sporting in the world stage?
Okay, I think the first thing happened like us working out and training and paying to get better and go abroad. I think, okay, now we need federations to be more helpful. They also started trying, but when the government doesn't give money to the federation, how the federation is going to help the athletes. They have to choose. Like, I mean, I have 10 athletes. I have to send 2 abroad or to the fights or championships. That's a problem.
Right. Yeah. And I feel as if there's rampant corruption here as well when it comes to the federations and the boards. Most of the federations boards here in Pakistan are either non-existent, or if they are existent. Here's a funny story. I hate to do this to the great nation of Pakistan, but it's true, and it's absolutely deplorable. Our Jiu-Jitsu Federation and the president, a very long-term reigning president of the Jiu-Jitsu Federation, that guy got busted for trafficking human bodies abroad through his position as the chairman of the... Can you imagine human trafficking? That's insane. What the hell, right?
I mean, he did what he had to do.
He did what he had to survive. Yeah, just traffic all of these human bodies. Yeah, it's messed up. But yeah, I mean, you come from the great land of Greece. Like I said, wrestling, and then pancreation, of course. Pancreas, of course, was also founded in Greek. I'm really fascinated, as you can tell, by Greek culture. So I was really excited to get to speak to you. I'm kind of nerding out right now. I'm talking to an actual Greek person. But
tell me more. What do you know?
You were just sitting there going like, yep, totally. I totally know that. Yes. I get the same thing when somebody meets me and they're like, hey, you're from Pakistan. And then they say like the most absurd shit. And I'm like, yeah, I knew that. I knew that.
Yeah, it's true. It's happening.
I mean, okay, let's come back to, I was going to ask you at this point about the UFC and the 125-pound division, but screw that. Well, we can still discuss the UFC's
125-pound division. It is led by the Terminator herself, Valentina Shevchenko. But what do you see in the UFC's, 125? 125 is your weight, if I'm not wrong.
Yes, it is.
All right. So what do you see about the 125 divisions in the UFC and ONE Championship? I think Stamp Fairtex is the double champ in the ONE Championship right now. She's product of course, Team Fairtex, which is one of the best gyms in Asia. How do you feel about the 125 fighters of the highest level?
Yes, of course, I am admiring them. I'm looking up to them. Okay, Valentina Shevchenko, yeah, obviously, she's a great fighter. And she's rounded fighter. Okay, she's choosing striking, but she's from Russia, so she obviously knows how to wrestle and everything.
Yeah, obviously.
And yeah, I think it is those fighters are the fighters that you have to watch the fights and like do the analysis and write down stuff. Oh, she did that, how she did it, why she did it. I'm trying to find their trainings, so I can study.
Yeah.
That's the thing that I have to say about the division. I don't have something to say like if some other fighter is gonna win or that's what I'm focusing.
Yeah. And I feel like, you are right now, of course, 9 pro fights into your very young MMA career. You didn't know that? Oh, well, I'm glad I told you. You're 9 pro fights into your very young MMA career, and I mean, this is a very good, because I've seen and I've talked to some fighters, who have like this roundabout same amount of pro fights, in different organizations. They go abroad and fight. They come back here in Pakistan, they fight. And by this point, they're just, their heads are so blown up. I don't know why, but this is a very common theme. They're just like, then they're talking shit about UFC fighters. Like, bro, like, relax.
You know me? Tell me who's Valentina Shevchenko?
Who is it? I don't know. I'm the real,
know me. Does she know me?
Here, pass on my autograph to her. But I'm glad you're grounded. I'm glad you're grounded. I'm glad you're still like focused on just training and getting better. And I asked you about the 125 division. This was your opportunity to say whatever you wanted about them, but instead you just said, "I'm
better than everyone." What?
The Conor McGregor of Greece is finally here. Yay.
Who's he? Who's Conor McGregor?
Yeah, do you find it ridiculous that people like try to trash talk so much? Like, do you?
I don't like it. I don't like it.
I can tell. Like, you can barely keep a straight face when you're doing it. But yeah, it's annoying. It's like, there's no, and especially if you want to go to the ONE Championship, this is perfect. You want to know a funny story about the ONE Championship? The ONE Championship actually fined one of the Pakistani fighters for giving a middle finger.
Really?
Can you imagine? Yeah, he was going for a fist bump, and then the other guy didn't do a fist bump, so our Pakistani fighter just went like, this is a fist bump, then he went like this, and then they were like, oh, fine his ass. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, that is what is happening in East.
Yeah.
Yeah, the culture, it is like this. Yes, respect. Yes, exactly. No trash talking, no brawling, and stare down and things.
Yeah. It's just very, moderate, and it's very respectful of your opponent and everything. And I feel like, that's how it should be, to a very large. I mean, of course, if two people, and this is my philosophy, two people genuinely don't like each other and genuinely want to say some stuff that they want to say to each other, it's not the worst thing in the world, because they're going to eventually beat the shit out of each other, right? So who cares if what they say? But it's like over the years, trash talk has gotten to the point where it's made, the biggest fans of trash talk uncomfortable. Like, I remember the Khabib Conor press conference. That shit was dark. Like, that was just, I was sitting there very uncomfortable as a person who comes from Pakistan, a Muslim nation, supporting completely Khabib, even though I was supporting Conor McGregor because I've been a fan of his. And the things he said, like about him being mad backwards, whatever, and then, just bringing in religion and all of that, it just got super uncomfortable, right? And I'm glad ONE Championship doesn't take this trash talk thing any, lightly at all.
Yes, I mean, okay, we can even accept that people, like fans, might want something more than a stare down and shake hands or something like this. Yes, let's hit the things a bit up, but okay, there is a limit to it.
Yeah.
And Conor McGregor is like Mayweather. They're doing it for the money.
Yeah.
And okay, they can say something more, but okay, please.
Yeah, let's calm down. Yeah, let's take it easy. You know what I mean? Like, he offered Khabib a drink, and Khabib was like, "Nah, thanks, mate. Like, I'm a reasonable human being who's in camp right now, so I will not take your liquor. And on top of that, I'm also Muslim, so I don't drink alcohol." And then he just tried to call him mad backwards. Like, come on, bruv. Like, relax. Conor was so drunk. I'm so happy though, as a fan of Conor, that he's back to his old ways against Cerrone, like very focused. Are you a fan of the sport? Who's your favorite fighter? I've been going on about Conor like I always do.
Okay, obviously I like Khabib.
Yeah, there we go.
But I like him as a fighter because I've seen things that he did. Like there was a homeless person, and he made him do push-ups in order to give him money. And no, that is not modest, and that is not.
It's kind of fucked up.
Yeah, it's not like, okay, what is this? What else? Obviously I like Cerrone.
Yeah.
The cowboy.
Cowboy's good.
He's a great fighter. Yes, he's a great fighter, but I think it is the end of the era. Like, maybe.
So sad. But he's gonna fight Anthony Pettis. I'm really excited about that. Hopefully, if that comes together, that's gonna be a fun fight.
If he won't get knocked out.
Yeah,
in the first round.
In 40 seconds, yeah. Oh, are we trash talking now, Christina? Huh? Are we calling out Cowboy for a fight?
Yeah, I'm calling out Cowboy. What is it?
Yeah.
What do you want?
Yeah, who are you?
And okay, obviously, Ferguson. He is a crazy great fighter.
I love Ferguson so much. He's crazy, man.
He's insane,
and in a good way. And I don't mean to knock his mental illnesses, but dude heard voices in the walls. What do you think's gonna happen? Like, that guy is nuts, man. Like he like his fight against Justin Gaethje just now. He's literally made of steel. Like, he walked through everything and just took it. I'm just so impressed by him.
I was watching the fights and I was like, these are significant punches on your chin. How are you even surviving? What is this?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
God. As a non-fighter, I was watching that and cringing. I can't imagine what it must have been like as a fighter watching that and taking that much damage, because you know exactly how that feels.
Yes, I was in pain.
You were in pain watching Tony Ferguson fight. For some reason, that makes a lot of sense to me.
It does, trust me.
I watched one of your fights. And I watched a bunch of your fights actually. Right before we, obviously I have to do my research. This is what I want to do now. But I watched you in SFC 6 versus Nicole Stoll.
Yeah, that's knockout. Yes.
Yeah, sorry, I learned to say your name, not hers. So I guess I could mess this one up. Nicole Stoll, I guess.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Both fighters walked out at the same time. I've never seen that.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. Is that weird?
Yeah. The promoter, Georgian Adolov, he just wanted to do something different.
Right.
And if you hear the video, they have their own soundtrack.
Yeah.
And with Melanie, we fought together in a previous, I think, SFC 4 or something.
Yeah.
And after that, we were together in South Africa last year.
Oh, really?
And yeah.
Oh,
and
nice.
she's a great friend of mine.
Oh, wow. Melanie Guigjes from SFC 5. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like Hookjes or something like
Hookjes,
this.
yeah,
Sorry,
okay.
Melanie.
Shout out Melanie. Shout out Melanie from SFC 5. But wow, you're friends with her now.
Yeah, she's a great girl.
Wow, that's so weird. But you girls walked out together and now you're best friends. This is like
No, not with Nicole, but
right.
in South Africa, I was with a teammate of Nicole's there.
Small world.
I mean, yes.
It's crazy.
Yes. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, we walked out together and they have their soundtrack, and even today we're singing the soundtrack. Yeah, it's like something like SFC, the beast is coming. Yeah, something like this. Yeah, they wanted to do it like this, and we're like, but we are opponents. Why am I walking next to her? What is this? Who is going to get in first in the cage?
Yeah, that was what I was waiting for. I was just sitting there going like, wait a minute, they're both walking at the same time. Are they gonna try to fight to see who gets in first? Like that's an alpha move. That's like an alpha thing, right? Like I'm gonna get in first. No, I'm gonna get in first. Like, you know?
No, I was a gentleman or gentlewoman, and I let her go in first. Yeah.
Please. Ladies first. Wait, you're both. Never mind. Yeah, that made sense in my head before I said it. Anyway, that fight against Nicole Stoll was interesting for more reasons than the walkout. That was the last blemish on your record, like I mentioned before. And that fight ended with a very suspect knee, can I say. Like, I did not like that knee that she threw right at the end. Like, depending on where you would be fighting, the rules would change. It would be legal in Pride, but under I think the new unified rules, that's not illegal. Blow your hands was clearly on the mat. You're a downed opponent. How did you feel about that?
I'll tell you. I was knocked out before the knee.
Really?
Man. Yes. Nay is in Greek. Yes, I was. Yes.
I like how honest you are. This is amazing.
I was sleeping that time.
Yeah. No, plus you were completely, in my opinion, you were piecing her up till that knee, or up till you were knocked out before that knee. I mean, you were very impressive in that fight. Tell me.
I had this problem back then. I was winning fights and then I was losing those fights because I didn't know. I didn't have the MMA mentality.
Points.
Yes. So I'm looking back there and I'm like, yes, obviously I didn't like that this happened, but I can see what changed and what I've learned.
Right.
Because it's the exact thing. The exact thing that I told you. I didn't have the mentality. I didn't know what MMA is. And I'm still learning. But yeah, obviously,
no, it speaks for itself. I mean, you were, you know, 1-3 in your first 4, and then right after this fight specifically, something changed. Like, you know, you like you said, I guess you finally got that mentality, and you've put together such impressive, like, you know, 4 out of 5 finishes in 5 fights, and you traveled, like, you didn't just fight in Greece, you fought in Greece, you fought in Albania, you fought in China. It's like you went in overdrive.
yeah. Okay, first of all, I was 3 months out after getting knocked out. I was training, but I wasn't even hitting the pads or the heavy bag. So finally, I had the time to only work out and not fight, because when we were fighting kickboxing, we were having one fight after another, but that cannot happen in MMA.
Yeah.
So we had many fight propositions. So we're like, yeah, let's do it. Let's go. We've got this too. Yeah.
Right.
And that is also the mentality of MMA. Not only, yes, as a fighter, but as, you know, as my coach, the mentality of my coach, how we should do it.
Yeah, all of these things matter. And what can you tell us about Spartakos Sports Club and, you know, where you train? How do you feel about your team?
I'm feeling great.
Really? Do you love it?
Yeah, I love it. I love you, coach.
Shout out Spartakos Sports Club, man. Do you feel as if what kind of an environment is there, you know, for you to try and get better and better?
It is a great environment. I'm really lucky because my head coach, because I'm also training Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu in Hermes Club. Also, our coach there, he's a black belt in Judo and in Jiu-Jitsu, and I have plenty of athletes like to train together, and I'm learning so many things. So about Spartakos, my coach, Angelos Stamatiadis, he really wants to improve all the time, and he's learning, and he is a different person from the first fight till today. He's learning, he's going to camps for MMA. Yeah, he's evolving. Yes. Definitely. So that's really important for me.
And how do you feel about your team, training with your team and then getting the chance to go to like China or Albania? Like, do you like traveling and fighting? Is that a no or is that a yes?
It is a yes. It is a yes. It is absolutely perfect.
The best thing you could have imagined?
That's what I want to do. That is what I want to do. I mean, last year we went in China, and it was like in 1 week we decided it. I had 5 fights canceled, and I didn't stop training. And then China, boom, and then you go in China, and then you win in China.
That's the best feeling, I bet.
Yes, I was like, that's why I didn't stop training, to go there and beat the Chinese girl.
And you did.
Yeah, I did, and I was like, yes.
I feel as if ONE Championship was smart about this. Yo, Chatri, if you're watching, which you are not, if you're smart about this, I feel as if I'll see you in ONE Championship very soon, because you're, like you said, putting in the time. You got the win streak to back it up. ONE Championship is the biggest, most viewed MMA promotion in the world in terms of viewership numbers, beating the UFC by the few billion that we have here extra in the Asian continent. Thank you so much. But Christina, I'm just so excited for where your career is gonna go. You're still very young in the game, but I hope you know I'm here with you along the way to cover your journey no matter where you go.
Thank you. And I just want to say about ONE Championship, 1 week after my fight in China, we got an invitation in to fight in ONE Championship.
Oh, you got an invite to fight in ONE Championship.
Yeah, it was obviously last minute call. My manager, Rizvan.
Yeah. Shout out.
Yeah,
Rizvan.
yes. Shout out, Rizvan.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for everything. Yeah, he got an offer for ONE Championship for a fight, but it was 1 week after China, and I was in Greece, and I was jet lagged for 1 week. So obviously, I was hurt. I couldn't fight. But
hey, it's all right. It's only been what? How long since China? Oh, it hasn't even. Oh, you fought twice, by the way, in November. You fought in November 2019, then December 2019, and now we've been in the pandemic for a few months. So, Christina, if that's the case, if you have been offered a last-minute fight in ONE Championship, then I don't want to, jinx it or anything, but I guess we'll be seeing you in ONE Championship really soon.
I really hope to get a fight and maybe a contract after.
Oh my God, that would be awesome. That would be awesome. I'm so excited for this. Thanks so much for doing this. And the next time you have a fight announced, the next time you're about to fight, or next time you have fought, wait, let me say it properly. Christina, Charis, Stelliou, you're coming back on the show. I hope you know that. Thanks so much for doing this, honestly, Christina.
Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure. Thanks for everything.
It was my pleasure, absolutely. If there's anything you want to say to the Pakistani fans that are watching you right now, now's your time.
I don't know. I don't know what to say. I know that you have many fighters in ONE Championship, and that is really good for MMA. And I hope you enjoy the interview, and I hope maybe one day I'll come over.
Oh my God! Imagine that. That would be amazing. That would be amazing. You know what? I guess a good way to start, good way to end this podcast is the same way I started it. Her name is Christina Charis Stelliou, and you should know her name because eventually you're gonna have to. This has been Daniyal Nasir Mirza. You've been watching On the Mic. Hit that subscribe button or Christina's going to come over and kick your ass. Make sure you like this video or Christina's going to come over to your house and kick your ass. And make sure you subscribe to the YouTube and make sure you do everything that I always ask you to do. This has been Daniyal. This has been Christina. This has been The Weigh-In. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.